change for the better. It's what our industry needs to take energy forward and help solve the climate challenge. But how? How do we take energy forward and continue to meet the world's need for affordable and reliable energy? As an energy technology company, we believe the answer starts and ends with technology. That's why today, we are using the most efficient technologies to reduce carbon emissions and unlocking the power of AI to produce more energy from less. We're also advancing the technologies to decarbonize energy in the future by accelerating the hydrogen revolution to provide clean, low-emission electricity and investing in carbon capture, use, and storage. We've committed to a net zero future, and we're helping the industry reach their targets by doing what's needed today and building what's needed for tomorrow. We have the power to change energy for the better. We are Baker Hughes.
Good afternoon, and thank you to Reuters for hosting the Energy Transition Summit. I'm excited to be representing Baker Hughes and our industry today as we discuss the path forward and how we define success on our journey to net zero. I also want to welcome our many customers and partners who are speaking and attending today. We work with Equinor, Shell, BP, Eni, Fortum, and many others. It's great to have everyone together for this discussion. For those of you not familiar, Baker Hughes is an energy technology company. As you saw in our opening video, we work in energy and industrial markets, taking energy forward and making it safer, cleaner, and more efficient for people and the planet. We are a global leader in cutting-edge turbo machinery, power generation solutions, industrial asset management, digital transformation, and even in technologies supporting industries like automotive and aerospace. Perhaps most importantly, we are committed to leading in the energy transition. Over 2 years ago, we committed to achieving net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050, and we're well on our way to meet that goal. We have a clear strategy to achieve our goals, but today I want to focus on how we can align as industrial and business leaders to define our success in progressing the energy transition. We must make progress each day, not only in reducing emissions on our path to net zero, but also by providing more accessible and reliable energy to the world at the same time. Many of us have referred to this dilemma as the dual challenge, but it's actually a great opportunity. We have an opportunity to change. We must be more positive. We must recognize our ability to adapt ourselves and our customers, solving complex technical challenges together. We can start by agreeing on undeniable truths that will drive the opportunity the energy transition brings us. With everyone's alignment, we will see success. First, without major acceleration of investment and innovation, the industrial sector cannot meet the Paris Agreement goals. Second, there is no scenario where hydrocarbons disappear, so efficiency matters. We must support natural gas and LNG in the energy mix, and we must focus on reducing emissions rather than playing favorite with certain fuel sources over others. Third, there is no path to our net zero goals without partnerships and collaboration. It sounds obvious, but we often forget about the power of collaboration and how it is a success factor for the energy transition. I want to share a little more on each of these truths and why they matter. Let's start with accelerating our investment and innovation. We need to rethink how we leverage our resources, as well as the speed in which we deploy them, to have a hope of meeting the net zero 2050 goals. COVID-19 accelerated the way we work faster than we ever imagined. Technology like remote drilling and digital-enabled operations are now common to many of us. We are now driving digital transformation rather than just talking about its potential. The outcomes are helping customers improve efficiency and operate better. We must also rethink the levels of investment for innovation that are not yet commercialized. As we heard from my friend Dr. Fatih Birol earlier today, the IEA has issued some stunning new data on how drastically we must invest in new technologies to achieve net zero on time. Their latest report claims that nearly 50% of our annual CO2 emission savings by 2050 will need to come from technologies that are not yet commercialized. We call upon regulators and policymakers to incentivize innovation, to reduce emissions, and make this technology a reality. Specifically, we need to focus more on new technology developments for energy frontiers like hydrogen, carbon capture, utilization and storage, geothermal, and energy storage. We want to see more cooperative funding amongst universities, corporations, and other developers with the right regulatory frameworks and access to capital. In the meantime, we cannot forget about the huge opportunity to deploy and scale today's technology to reduce emissions and spur new energy developments. Hydrogen is a great example here. To spur the hydrogen economy, we must be open to exploring natural gas and hydrogen-blended infrastructure. We can do this today, and such projects are ready to deploy with little to no major upgrades of current turbomachinery equipment. New hydrogen facilities can also use today's technology effectively, so we must start now to accelerate the hydrogen economy. A great example of this is an announcement Baker Hughes made with Air Products earlier this month, where our advanced compression and gas turbine technology will be used in 2 new facilities, one in Canada and one in the future city of Neom in Saudi Arabia. We can offer our leading technology to Air Products today, not in the distant future, because it's proven, it is available, and it is efficient to tackle large-scale hydrogen plants. In this way, we don't need to always define success by only bringing new innovations to market. Rather, let's focus on success through advancing projects that reduce emissions using technology of both today and tomorrow. Where can governments and policymakers help here? We need regulatory frameworks to enable and support the emergence of a hydrogen market. Policies must be performance-based and technology-neutral to unlock competition and spur innovation. By many accounts, Europe is already more advanced in this space, and I'm encouraged to see other regions, including North America, start to move in the same direction. Let's keep moving faster. The second truth is there is no scenario in the energy transition where hydrocarbons disappear. We do believe peak oil will occur in years, not decades, but the role of oil and gas will continue to be important for many regions. Renewables will not scale fast enough to displace the energy demand over the next few years, so we must extract, refine, deliver, and consume hydrocarbons in a better way. To make hydrocarbons better, efficiency must be improved, as well as the continued focus of industrial decarbonization. This is where natural gas is critical. We strongly believe natural gas can and should serve as a transition and destination fuel. Its environmental benefits over a fuel source like coal are clear, and its efficiency is compelling. LNG is also a favorable option. We're working to improve LNG's total emissions profile to ensure it strongly supports a low to zero carbon future. We've partnered with customers like Novatec to explore decarbonizing their LNG operations through a combination of methods, including introducing hydrogen blends in their current infrastructure. You may be wondering, will efficiency gains in using natural gas really make a measurable difference in reaching our net zero goals? We believe it will, and the IEA also believes so. The IEA's Sustainable Development Scenario confirms that energy efficiency represents more than 40% of the emissions abatement needed by 2040, more than any other single mitigation measure. Let's also look at the bigger picture and how hydrocarbons are needed to spur the growth of electrification. Today, hydrocarbon-based electricity is already playing a critical role in the huge production growth of batteries, electric vehicles, and other low to zero carbon technologies for tech and transportation. The largest single cost for building an electric vehicle battery today is the cost of energy for manufacturing, at 34%, even more than the cost of a battery's plant's machinery, labor, and materials. To lower the cost of batteries and spur further adoption of electric vehicles, that cost of energy must come down. And natural gas-based electricity for manufacturing is a clear solution. This is just one example. So efficiency improvements for hydrocarbons must be part of how we define success in the energy transition. In addition, industrial decarbonization must also rapidly accelerate as we continue to keep hydrocarbons part of our energy mix. CCUS is noted by several studies as the most important technology to reduce emissions in heavy industries, even more than electrification, renewables, or hydrogen. CCUS can be applied to industrial clusters and facilities now, and we must spur adoption. In fact, today I'm pleased to announce that Baker Hughes has signed an agreement with Borg CO2 to collaborate on a carbon capture and storage project in Norway to decarbonize industrial sites in the Viken region. The project will store up to 90% of the CO2 emissions from 3 industrial facilities, accounting for 700,000 tons of CO2 emissions annually. This type of agreement is a prime example of how we make hydrocarbons work in our energy transition. And we must keep defining our success in this way. CCUS is joined by many other technologies to reduce emissions and raise efficiencies of hydrocarbons. We can detect, monitor, and reduce methane emissions, reduce flaring, and improve flare combustion efficiencies. We also can offer upgrades on existing turbines to reduce carbon emissions for LNG and natural gas infrastructure, which is an efficient and easy way to make progress towards our shared goals. Technology drives all of this, and I applaud our industry leaders as they expand their commitments on deploying these solutions at scale. Our last truth is that there is no path to a successful energy transition without partnerships and collaboration. Especially in the short term, our success must be defined by how collaborative we are. Collaboration leads to innovation, adoption, and deployment of technologies at scale to get closer to net zero. I mentioned our recent announcements with Air Products and Borg CO2. But also we must collaborate between public and private sectors, between governments and companies, and between the academic and the business worlds. Baker Hughes is proud to have joined many rising organizations driving the energy transition in the last few years, including the Hydrogen Council, because we see the value of collaboration there. We also must partner with other innovators who share our vision of achieving net zero by 2050 and have new and creative ways to take there. Take Bloom Energy from California, who is also sponsoring today's event. We are working with Bloom to explore how we can leverage their solid oxide fuel cell technology with our lightweight gas turbine technology, leading to more efficient and integrated power solutions. We're also looking at pairing Bloom solid oxide electrolyzer cells, which can produce 100% hydrogen, with our compression technologies to reduce cost and spur faster adoption of hydrogen in process industries. Even a few years ago, such a collaboration would have been considered far-fetched. Our close alignment on vision and commitment to net zero now drives these collaborations to happen, and we will be better for it. I call on my fellow industry leaders and customers to embrace being first movers. Do not shy away from collaboration. We are stronger together as policymakers, corporations, and consumers to advance the energy transition faster. We must seize this moment. This is our time to accelerate the energy transition and our time to redefine how success looks as we meet key milestones over the next 30 years. Let's focus on managing and reducing emissions, not fuel sources. And let's ensure energy supply remains stable and accessible on our journey to net zero. Let's support policies and incentives that drive towards the same goal. And let's support one another as we deploy valuable technologies today and develop technologies taking us into the future. I look forward to a bright future for energy. I hope we can look back at this period as one where we came together to drive progress. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing many of you soon.